All right, good morning, guys. So let's roll through this thing. Glad to see the majority of you guys come back. So this is session 2 of our HxGN Hacks series for Overview 360. So today we're going to kind of look at some of the widgets to start us off. In particular, we'll look at the KPI and KPI group along with the inbox and inbox group because they're very similar. We'll take a dive into the equipment summary, and then we'll look at how the custom tabs are utilized. With our KPI widgets, they're pretty straightforward, right? So these widgets are the same KPIs that you would see on your Start Center, right? So they utilize the same logic, same queries, and you can actually find them in your query list when you're configuring these. The hyperlinks are not yet active for the KPIs here, whereas they are in the Start Center. We are looking to confirm that that will be a native functionality in the future. But that leads us into this little guy here, our KPI group. So this is new with EAM 12.2. The KPI groups, really neat. They have a lot more functionality than the individual KPIs. But with these groups, you have the option to actually choose and show your current Start Center KPIs. It'll pull those in automatically for you and place it into the widget. From there, you also have the ability to further edit your list of KPIs here. So if you pull in your Start Center, you can then add or take away from that list. But do note that it is reflected on both Start Center and Overview 360. So the same concept applies for the inbox group, which we'll take a look at alongside our KPI group. So our next widget that we'll dive into is the equipment summary, which is essentially native. It's built into the equipment overview 360 screen as a widget type, and it is very specifically pulling back the criteriaed equipment, as you can see in the screenshot here. The equipment codes are acting as active hyperlinks. So if you do click as you can tell, it is hyperlinked even in the equipment summary itself. You can see the name is highlighted right there. So if you click that, it will hyperlink you to the associated screen, depending on how you have your equipment summary configured. So if we're looking at assets, it'll hyperlink us to the asset screen. For our field list here, what we're looking at are the first 6 fields that are dedicated in the data spy here. For our current list, we're looking at status, serial, commission, class, department, and then the assigned to. The description is automatic. You also have the option to show a profile picture. If you've attached the profile picture to your assets or your equipment in general, you can display those. Now, it is important, I always want to make a note, if you plan to save and share these templates or make them public, make sure that the data spies being used are global, or at least available to the users or the user groups that you're assigning these Overview 360 templates to. Will be our custom URL. So this guy is really neat. Custom tabs is what this widget is looking for. And generally you can find this on the screen. So what you would do is locate the screen that you're wanting to associate your custom tab, custom URL to. On that screen, you can open the custom tabs tab, and then you can associate a URL here. These were initially designed to be used with like OpenCAD URLs for associating to equipment specifically, but you can utilize active URLs like we have in our example screenshot here. It's the Digital Thinker website. And interestingly enough, it's actually fully interactable, which is kind of neat. So let's dive in to EAM and actually go through and create these. So I'm going to log into our demo environment here. I'm going to navigate to my equipment overview 360, and I'm going to change my template. This is a defaulted template for my user. So every time I log in, I will see this template first, right? What I want to do is choose my new template that I want to build. And I will hit submit to open it. And there we go. So now we have a blank slate and we can start putting this thing together. So first thing I want to do is check my layout, right? So as we can see, I have a single row here. Let's add a little bit more depth to this. So inside the edit layout option, I have a single wide, which is what we're looking at now, a double, which is 2 columns, and then double wide with a left or right strong, and then a triple. We'll start with a double wide right strong. So that's a 2 column, small left, wide right. Now, the first thing I want to do to create a widget is click Add Widget. My type here will be KPI, and I'll hit Submit. So this gives me a widget that I can now configure based on the type of widget that I chose. So if I hit the options and edit, I can now choose the KPI code that I want to associate to my widget. For example, if I were to pull in emergency work percentage and I hit submit, we can now see our KPI inside of our Overview 360 dashboard. I can further personalize this by changing the tab colors to help me organize. Now let's talk a little bit about the KPI group. Again, new to 12.2, really neat. So I'll add my widget and my group type. Hit submit. Now I have a new widget. So what I want to do with this guy is just drag it up here and I'll drop it into the wide side, my options, and then edit again. And in this widget, we have a little different setup. What we want to do is first title it. We'll call this our key performance indicators. Again, show Start Center KPIs. So this will copy what I currently have on my Start Center dashboard. And then I can determine the height of the widget itself based on pixels. If you leave it blank, it'll just configure the default height. So I'll click Submit, close, and there we go. So this list that we're looking at here is the same list that I have on my Start Center. And again, I will personalize this by giving it title. Let's change the color just a tad. Just looking at this, we can resize our KPIs inside of the widget itself, and we can save that. We also have the ability to, again, change the height. So to give you a reference here, if I click 550 and hit submit, that's about 550 pixels based on, a 27-inch screen. Okay, also, I can click the Personalize KPIs button. So what this does is it gives you the pop-up, just like it does when you're configuring your Start Center, where you can choose the KPI codes that you now want to add to your group. So I can set this up utilizing auto refresh, just like I would in the Start Center. I hit submit, and now I have a new KPI in my group. Let's continue on. So now let's add a new widget. And let's look at our inbox group. When we edit our inbox group, we're picking the folder that we want to pull from as our default. We'll call this our inboxes. Again, we can determine if we want to just pull directly from our Start Center or if we want to create specific folders for multiple widget layouts. Depends on what you want to do. So let's pull this. My operations folder is empty, so let's hit the maintenance and I will submit. So now I can see not only my inboxes and my KPIs, but also additional widgets that I want to add. So we'll personalize that. Also, these do continue their hyperlink functionality as well. So if I were to double click here, it will hyperlink me to that record. So think of this as like an additional Start Center dashboard, but with a little bit more flexibility. So now our equipment summary. So this one's fairly large. I'll throw it on the large column here, and I will go into configure my equipment summary. First thing it's going to ask me is for the screen. So which equipment screen do I want to create the summary for? And we'll do our assets. So it pulls the data spies available for the asset screen, it also has its own, which is the asset summary. So we'll utilize this first. You can configure specific data spies for this if you'd like. The asset summary one actually does a pretty decent job. I will turn on our profile picture, and then I will title my widget. So this will be equipment assets. So let's tag this so it's a little easier to look at. And now I have a list of assets. So not only can I see essentially the summarized values that are being pulled based on my data spy, again, I can also hyperlink directly to that piece of equipment from my summary list. All right. And finally, our last widget for this session is our custom tab. So this little guy right here at the top, I almost missed it. Submit. Now, since this one is relatively interactive, we'll throw this on the large side too, right? And I will configure this, edit. Again, it's asking me for the screen. So in my list here, you can see the available screens that we can utilize in regards to the custom tabs where we can specify these URLs. In this particular demo, we have ours set up for the stores. So we'll utilize the stores screen. We have a custom tab associated here, and it's called UT1, Digital Thinker, and then it has the path associated to that custom tab right there. Next, it'll ask me for my widget title, and then finally the height. We could leave this blank for the default size, but let's do 500. So now that my widget has been created, let me add green. So now I'm looking not only at the site, but interestingly enough, we had a lot of fun playing with this, to be honest. I can actually interact with the site inside of the widget, which is really neat. But I had a neat little segue here for DTI Academy. If you guys are interested, definitely check out that website for the upcoming webinars and additional HxGN Hacks series we have coming out. Okay, so we have a pretty decent 360 setup so far. Template's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and click save. It pulls in my code for me, and I will just hit submit and close. So what that does is it saves my template. It removes me from edit mode. So now I'm in regular view, and here are my widgets I can now utilize and manipulate. So what's next? Our next session, we're going to look a little bit more into the list line and pie charting, and then we'll get into some of the more complex widgets like the equipment health stacked bar charting and actually pulling in a report to a widget. There's a few more we'll cover at the end, and then we'll do a recap with a little bit of a Q&A. So that pretty much sums up my portion. I know I saw some questions. So let me check those. So Larry says, what is the character limit for the URL field? Ooh, great question. It is dependent on the actual path field on the screen. So if I'm here on this guy and I go to stores, I believe is what we had. So the stores screen, custom tab, and then there's my URL path, right? Because it's an HTML type. So it'll be dependent on whatever the length of this field is right here. And we could find that through Screen Designer, 2000 characters. And then our second question, does the screen have a pixel limit? If we do layout triple wide and zoom in to around 50-60%, it will only show the 2 rows instead of 3. I don't know if there is a pixel limit. I can definitely find out for you and have an answer for the next go around. I would imagine it's probably going to be a little bit dependent on your physical setup, you know, how big the screen that you're using. Are you saying that when you zoom in the browser, it is removing the third column? Sorry, I'm making a note of that. So that is actually a really good question. I will dive into that and test it myself and then push it up to HxGN to see if there's anything that they can address there. Good find. All right. Any other questions? There's not a whole bunch of us, so. All right, Larry, you can open your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, so really nicely done here, Tyler. And so glad to see these features come back on the overview screen. I was really disappointed to see it go away many years ago.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna hyper focus just on one function that was so usable back in the day, and I really want that back for the organization I'm with now, and that is that URL functionality. So with that particular company and with my current company, we don't necessarily use EAM as a document repository.
Right.
But we do use our SharePoint sites. And that is one thing that I would like to do is be able to create a link from EAM over to the SharePoint site, and then they can cruise down the folders to their document.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And you absolutely could.
okay, cool. So and the limitation, right, was that 256 character limit that we had back in the day that caused the problem. So that's why the question on what's the char limit for the URL. So it's good to see that that's 2000 now, because
Yeah, I forgot about that.
SharePoint folder structure goes way long, right? Depending on who you're with. So great that it's 2000 characters. When you add the URL widget, so here's the real question. When you add the URL widget, is it only a custom tab that you can select, or can you select a screen that has a URL in it?
For this particular widget type, it's focused on the value from that custom tab.
Okay. So I can create like a bogus screen and then just create a custom tab and insert the URL in there, and that should, for all intents and purposes, work.
Well, as long as it's connected to one of the screens that's available in this list.
Okay, so I'll have to take a look at the data spy and see what it's pulling and what it's providing. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's plans to expand the availability of screens here along with access to UDSs, but that's just rumor mill spinning.
Right.
But yeah, right now it'd be this list, and then you can create that custom tab value for whatever you want, because you can enter multiple records, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's perfect. So I can just take any existing screen and just add the tab. That's awesome. That's cool. Whether it's relevant or not, I can just do that. Cool, man.
Exactly.
That was it. Yep. I couldn't type out that question, so thanks for the unmute.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. Good to go, Tyler. Nice job, man.
Cool. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. I guess I will go ahead and close this out. If you guys do end up having additional questions, feel free to send me an email. So until next time, session 3 will be, I have to double check, but I believe it's not next week because of Thanksgiving, but the week after. Hope you guys have a good day. Take care. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.